All right, we're going to start a little video series here. I got a 2009 Jeep Liberty KK model, I guess it is. I got it fairly cheap, paid $1,200 for it. Has a bad 3.7 motor. It grenaded itself. Looks like it blew a head gasket and then locked up and trashed two rods right through the side of the block, so that's not rebuildable. I tried to find a used low mile motors are over $3,000, and a remanufactured long block also over $3,000, and it just didn't make any sense to me. With as much of a pain in the butt it was to get that motor out, it doesn't make any sense to me to put another one back in. And since in my shop here, I specialize in LS vehicles and LS swapped vehicles, like here's my Colorado. It's got a LS swap. I've done tons and tons of LS swaps in the past. Let's just put an LS in it. Screw it. It will be 10 times better than it was before. It'll be easy to work on. It'll be more reliable. And I can keep it for a lot longer. So taking a look in the engine bay, there's a lot of room in there. It'll definitely fit. There was a lot of room in front of the radiator, and the motor. It already has electric fans, or one big electric fan. The power steering system is on the driver's side of the motor like it should be. The air conditioning system is on the left side of the motor where it should be. The only thing that I can see was on the other side was the starter, but that's not a big deal to rewire that over. Looks like there's plenty of room on the side of the motor for exhaust with the right headers. I'm pretty sure this will be a fairly easy swap. I mean, it has a decent sized radiator in it. It's a cross flow. It's bigger than the one in the Colorado, which I have V8. I haven't quite chose my motor yet. I've got a couple of options. I've got an aluminum 5.3 that I can board a 5.7. I've got a 6-liter under there. I've got a storage unit full of 5.3 motors, cast iron blocks, which I can also board a 5.7. So I think minimum it's going to have a 5.7 engine in it. I like the iron block 5.7s. They're pretty good motors. They make good power, usually at least 400 horsepower. So this is just a kind of ramble video of what my plans would be. Obviously, we're going to get rid of that transmission, garbage Jeep transmission. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep it 4-wheel drive or not. That's up in the air, depending on what transmission I come across, because I don't have any transmissions laying around, just engines. I really don't care about 4-wheel drive. It snows here in the state of Utah, but not very often, and it never sticks. So I'm not really worried about driving it off-road. More of a daily driver for the wife to drive around. So probably, I'm about 75% sure I'm just going to ditch the front axle. And that'll give me a little more room to set the motor down lower, because the front of the oil pan is going to sit right here on that axle cross tube. And with that out of the way, I can get the motor down even lower. The motor mount should be fairly easy. The steering's out of the way really well. As far as electronics go, I'm pretty sure I'm going to gut most of this wiring out of here. I'm going to do a standalone because there's no on the shelf wiring harnesses for LS motors for these. Only like the Wranglers and stuff, they make them, not for the Liberties. And I don't want to deal with going through and figuring it all out. I really don't have the time or patience or the knowledge to deal with that can system. Now, if somebody can tell me otherwise and give me a walkthrough on how to do it, great. I will keep this. I will integrate it somehow. My plan was just to run a standalone, and then this gauge panel is nice and flat behind there. Nice big round gauges. Probably just do a plastic, black plastic flat piece there and get some aftermarket gauges that'll fit in those four, make it look just like it does now, except for aftermarket gauges that'll work with the LS. All the rest of the car electronics should work as long as the fuse box is plugged in, power windows, all that stuff. Air conditioning was really my only main concern. I'd have to figure out a walk around or a workaround just to get it to force start or something without running it through the BCM and having engine control over it. I'm sure with some relays or something I can figure that out. And so a little walk around on the Jeep. The body's in pretty much brand new condition. You saw the interior a little bit. The interior is like brand new. Somebody took halfway decent care of it. Just have to find some new wheels and tires because those are awful. People who paint your wheels black to have black wheels are retards. All of you. Stop doing that. Because it lasts like a year and then they start to look like that. Just go buy yourself some black wheels if you really want to. So anyways, that'll be a part 1. Part 2 will be mock-up. I can't really do videos while working on the video like some people do because I don't have GoPros or any of that stuff. I just have my phone. I'm old school, kinda. So yeah, next video will be mock-up with the engine in there. Probably just use that aluminum empty block over there with an oil pan on it and start figuring out headers and whatever else. I think I'm going to use the C6 Corvette oil pan. They're flat instead of having a dip down in the back like the truck oil pan. That way I don't have to worry about behind the cross member with clearance issues or any of that, because I may be lowering this vehicle. If I go 2-wheel drive, I might lower it down a little bit just to give it a little more stability and put the motor as far down as I can get it, and maybe I can race it a little bit or something. So with the flat oil pan, I'm pretty sure it'll sit right about there and it'll go all the way down because that axle will be out of the way. But we'll figure that out. So the Corvette C6 oil pan, probably going to be the best bet for that. And the headers, I like the universal LS swap headers from Speed Engineering. You can use them in just about everything. We'll walk through those at another time. All right. And again, if you guys have any knowledge on the CAN system, how I can go about making them communicate with the LS system so I can keep all the gauges and everything, keep it factory looking, I mean, that would be great. Shoot some info my way. I will more than likely be using a Gen 4 LS motor with a probably E38 ECM and a drive-by-wire pedal and all that stuff, since it already has a drive-by-wire pedal. Maybe I can get the one inside to communicate. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, folks. We will see you on the next video.